Okay, you see what we got here? We have Fundamentals Test 5 from Chapter 13. The passenger side in the United States is which side?
Right side.
The right side. That's the side where the passenger sits. And what countries drive on the wrong side of the road?
Europeans.
Yeah, well,
Not
all of them, but the Australia they do, and in England they do. And I think it had something to do with meeting somebody on a horse, having your sword hand free, this kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right, so, but that would spook me to go over there and drive because I knew I would mess up and get on the wrong side of the road sooner or later. Because over there, the right side of the road is the left side of the road.
Yeah.
That makes sense? Over there, the correct side of the road to drive on.
Everything is backwards.
Yeah, the steering wheel's on the other side and everything. All right. The vehicle with the engine in the front can be either front-wheel drive, rear-wheel, four-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, or what?
Any?
That's a sort of a silly question. It could be any of them. Now, vehicle identification number says 1981 is how many characters long?
17.
17 characters long, and the 10th character represents the year of the vehicle. If the 10th character is a Y, what is it?
2000.
Now remember, like I told you, which characters did they not use? They did not use I, O, Q, U, or C. I, O, Q, U, or Z. They didn't use any of those. Mostly you started in like 1981 was B. Technically 80 would have been A. So if you go back to an 80 model and look at the serial number, it'll usually on some of them it's only 5 or 6 characters long. But in 81, everybody started having 17 characters, and that 10th digit always gives you the year model. P is 93, V is 97, R is 94, S is 95. So I, O, Q, U, or Z, they did not use, right? You got that? V is 97. I remember that because it's like a sideways 7, turn it sideways. And P rhymes with 93. F is 85. See, if you can find some little benchmarks along there, you can count up and down from there. What is N? 92. M is 91. Got it? Can you remember that? Pop test tomorrow. You'll have 8 seconds to answer 10 questions. You're supposed to go, just go whipping down through there. I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that to you. But I will tell you this. And I've preached on this before. If you go over there to the door and you open the store and you look at that sticker and you think that's going to tell you what year model it is, you're going to get smoked sometimes by that. You'll have a car that's like a lot of the time these body shops, if the door is damaged, I've actually heard the body shop guy calling to order parts. And like if it's a purple vehicle, he'll say, I need a driver's door for a 2002 Dodge Dakota that will fit one in a purple one if you got it. And if they got a purple one, they send it, and they pop a purple door on there. It looks beautiful. There's nothing wrong with the repair, except that VIN sticker is not the one for the vehicle. It'll have a different serial number than what's under the hood. And it'll also have a different build date, and it'll have a different year model on it.
Grand Am is like that, right? Pontiac. It's a made in America car with its VIN number 1, and the door been made in Canada. It's been number 2.
Yep. So somebody's replaced the door on that car, but with another door, and they left that, and they probably put a door on there that was white. So the serial number is different on the door than it is on the hood. Come here.
It's not even right.
There's that girl. Hey, there is a set of spark plugs and a quart of oil sitting right on that service desk that you need to take back. I've already talked to Brett about it.
Take back the spark plug.
Huh?
I wish I got paid by the mileage instead of by the hour.
Well, let me make a phone call. I'll take care of that for you.
Please do. I filled my truck up yesterday morning about 8 o'clock.
Was that good?
And reset the miles on it, and just since this morning, it's 180 miles.
You done good.
Tell me about it. That's just around off. I didn't know there was 180
you got plenty to do, and you're in the wind.
I guess.
Honda Accord. Okay, put that one on my desk, and this is the oil filter for the Honda Accord we're going to service. We got to do it. We got to get that car really good going over because she's getting ready to make a trip, and she's trusting us to make sure it's just right. I mean, we're talking if it needs a tire rotation, she knows everything looked at. Tire pressure, tire rotation, balance the tires, change the oil, make sure that everything's in there. She even needs a little can of wipes in there so she can get the antibacterial stuff off her hands and all that. All right. So we don't usually supply that though. Let me see. First character of the vehicle identification number is country of origin. Incidentally, 4 was 8. It was 2000. Y is 2000. They didn't use Z. All right. And starting in 2000, starting in 01, they used 1. And then starting in 2010, they started it back over again with A. So basically it repeats, All right. So the VECI label includes all of these. Excuse me. If it's a 1, what is it? If it's a 5, what is it?
There's Japan, I think.
No, United States, actually. There's more than one character that talks about it being the United States. VECI label includes all of these except, it's got engine identification, valve lash. Valve lash?
I don't recall seeing.
I've never seen valve lash on a VECI label, but I may be stupid.
Horsepower, torque ratings.
It won't always have spark plug tip and gap either. Actually, it should be type, not tip. But horsepower and torque rating is never on that label. And the Japanese cars will have these funky little engine nomenclature numbers like 2A FQ or whatever.
Yeah.
So they always want to know that. The people that are really buffs on those Japanese cars can spit those numbers out off the top of their head. But and that tells that's like a calibration thing. Okay, the vehicle certification label includes everything. Safety certification label. You know what they said on here? The right answer was supposed to be is tire pressure recommendation, but that's not so either because Fords have got it on there. Not every vehicle does. You can't always count on it being on there because they'll have a different sticker with the tire pressures on it on some cars. You know what I mean? Some of them it's on that label and some of them it's not. So that's a bad question. But if you put C, you'll get it right. But I don't like that answer. What are the characters that are embedded in most engine blocks and used for identification?
Casting number.
Casting number. That's right. If the first character of the VIN is an S, where was it made? England.
That's what I guess.
Yeah, you're supposed to be digging in your book on that. Technician A says the lower the bin number is, the cleaner. Technician B says SULEV has cleaner standards than ULEV. What in the world are they talking about?
SULEV, that's the California one, isn't it?
A super ultra low emission vehicle. Basically, both A and B are right on that. Which character of the VIN indicates the engine code? Remember? Which one? Tell me.
8.
The 8th one, that's right. Now, that is not a universal code because there's so many different engines. On your models, it is universal, but on engine size, it's not. Except that number is always, the engine code is always on the 8th digit. All right, now then, the year of the vehicle is on which one?
10.
The 10th digit. Vehicle safety certification label includes vehicle identification, month and year of manufacture, gross vehicle weight rating, and number 14, where can vacuum hose routing information be found? Now, you don't get these confused. Vehicle safety certification label is on the door when you open the door of the car usually, or in that area, and the VECI label, vehicle emission control information label, is under the hood. It'll either be stuck on the underside of the hood or it will be down here. And it's really irritating if somebody has peeled it off. And sometimes you run into that where somebody's peeled it off. Where can the VECI label be found? Under the hood, near the fan shroud, but sometimes it's on the underside of the hood. Which tier of emission standards is the least stringent? In other words, stringent meaning what? Restrictive, right? That would be Tier 1. Which tier became effective in 2009? Tier 2. Tier 1 standards, A, may be different for cars and light trucks, or B, went into effect in 1984. That was both A and B. Zero emission vehicles are A, either electric or fuel cell powered, or B, produce zero tailpipe emission. That's A and C. A and B. That's number C there. And finally, Technician A says the calibration codes may be located on the PCM housing. Technician B says some calibration codes must be accessed by a scan tool. Which technician is correct?
I think it's C.
Both A and B. There you go. So, the calibration codes, I will tell you that most of the time, when you go to buy a GM part or a Chrysler part, you can give them the part number that's on the part, and although that part number may have changed from the original stamping, what's actually on the part will be the part number. Got it? In other words, it'll be like an 8-digit number. It'll be like, 1704-2245 or something like that. And that is the part number. Now, on a Ford, there's a number that looks like a part number, and it has the same basic number. A Ford part number is typically broken up into, it's got some numbers here, it's got some numbers in the middle, and it'll usually have like a 2-digit thing on the other. It'll be like F1AZ12B684AB. That is a prefix, that's the basic part number, and that's a suffix. The basic part number tells you what it is. This tells you what year model it is and all that. But, like for instance, if you look at the engineering number on this same part I wrote this part number for, you may see something that's like F1AF AB or something like that. It'll be slightly different, but the parts guy can take that number and track down which parts you need if there's a number on it. And that includes wire harnesses and all kinds of stuff, if the harness is still available. A lot of wire harnesses aren't available, but that's how that works. You got to prefix stuff. And I've also said this before, if there's a lot of parts that you use and you know what the part number is, because you're familiar enough with the product you're working on, you can basically go in there and just tell them which basic part number you want, and the vehicle, they can look it up. And they really like somebody that has lots of information for them. Okay, that pretty well winds up that test, and we can move on and plow through our next one.